president's headed to Osaka, Japan. He's going to meet with President Xi Jinping in China. What do you hope comes from that conversation?
Well, I'm hoping that we'll see a ratcheting down of the tension between the two countries on the trade front. I'm very optimistic that we will actually see progress come out of it, and that will mean more stability in our economy, less volatility, and the consumer will be excited about no increases in the price of the goods. I think companies so far have been absorbing some of the actual costs of the trade dispute. That will not last forever, so it's important for us to find our path forward. But remember why we're having this actual challenge. It's because China's trying to steal the future. This is a chance for us to make sure we recalibrate our systems and have a fair ground for trade relations.
On the issue of technology, should Huawei be a negotiating chip in these trade talks?
Well, certainly has been so far, and I think it will continue to be a major part of the discussion going forward. It's undeniable that Huawei seems to have some, at least from our perspective, they could have nefarious intentions as they get involved in our technology. So the pushback is an understandable pushback.
Talk to members of your constituents, and even as a member of the Senate Finance Committee, the chairman, Chuck Grassley, has really aggressively pushed back against the notion of tariffs. He says he wants to build a veto-proof majority to come up with some type of legislative option that would prevent the president from using Section 232 or national security purposes to implement tariffs. What do you make of sort of the landscape right now within the Republican Party as it relates to these tariffs?
Well, I think we're free traders. So the fact of the matter is that we oppose tariffs without any question. I think what the president's doing in China is really resetting, or almost a tectonic shift in our relations with China for the foreseeable future, because that's what's in jeopardy. It's can China steal the future by stealing our IP and resetting the tables on technology? I think that the 232 auto tariffs is like Russian roulette. It's hard for me to deny that a national security risk is not posed by an auto worker in Greenville, South Carolina. So I take a very different position than the president on that position.
What are they saying in Greenville?
Well, listen, they're very concerned. I mean, the fact of the matter is that when you talk about seeing BMW send 80,000 potential vehicles to China for production, since they're exporting 80,000 vehicles from Greenville, South Carolina to China, that's an actual existential risk to the employees within the supply chain of the automobiles in our country, specifically at home in Greenville.
Switching gears, of course, the president yesterday implementing new aggressive sanctions. Some have criticized them as being symbolic. The White House says no. Where do you make in terms of how the president is dealing with Iran?
Listen, I think his restraint on calling off the strikes, saving 150 lives, was presidential. It was a very strong presidential move. I think we all celebrate that. I hope that we all do. The president is doing what is necessary. He's putting economic pressure on the leadership of Iran, which brings them to the table. I know that they've sent a signal saying that they're no longer willing to negotiate with America. That's just hogwash. The fact of the matter is they'll be there soon.
All right, I got to nerd out a little bit. The president and his Twitter account, he's been really going after the Fed chair, Jay Powell. What do you? Is that good? I mean, they're supposed to be independent.
No one should spend too much time commenting on the president's Twitter account. I will say this: that the good news is that Jay Powell and the president have the same goal in mind, which is low unemployment and a healthy economy. Good news is we've achieved both goals. The challenge is how long can we sustain the good economy? Frankly, this month we will just surpass the longest economic recovery expansion in the history of the country. That's really good news. There's going to be a bit of a kerfuffle between the two leaders as it relates to how we continue to extend this economic activity. We'll figure that out. I'm not concerned about it.